Welcome to the show, guys. If you're watching us from YouTube, and let's get on with our guest, our helicopter pilot, engineer, my good friend Rob Taylor. Rob, where have you been, brother? Welcome.
Yes. Hello, Vika. You've been quite busy this week. Thanks for the invite again.
And my other co-host who
Thank
also
you.
always join me. Thank you, brother. And we all know him also, Genie. Genie, my friend. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Vika. Thanks for having me, bro. We have an all-star panel here right now. I'd like to say hi to everyone in the audience for coming back, and anybody new. This is going to be a great show.
Thanks for being here, Genie.
Thank you.
And then our next guest, also we know him, star of Flatten the Curve, Kevin Bobick. Sir, how are you?
Very good, Vika. Thank you so much for having me. Shout out to you for sure.
And our special guest and friend,
Yes.
Eddie. Eddie, Flatted Banjo. How are you, brother? Welcome.
I'm fine, Vika. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone who's listening out there. Rob, Kevin, Gene, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Let's talk about flat Earth.
Yeah, so this 2 days or 3 days ago, we all released the video from Eddie about this trip these guys are planning. And the best part was we all, as Eddie wanted, we all released it in the same time. There was maybe at least 6 to 7 channels who released it at the same moment. So hope that word has reached more or less, to different part of the planes. And we are today exactly here to discuss that. So we try to keep it the whole show about that, about the flight. So we're going to start with Eddie. Eddie, I remember in your book that is shown Captain Marcelo, he's doing that flight. Do you remember how many hours did he take? He was speaking about that flight.
Yeah, when they were coming from Sydney to Buenos Aires, right? And the total
so
flight time. Yeah. So the time they flew for 10 hours in the dark, meaning they had no communication, no satellite coverage for 10 hours. Okay, the whole night. And
yeah, dead reckoning.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Dead reckoning. Yep.
Okay. So now, like we got an email, one of the guys were explaining, the Globe is trying to explain why that supposedly they have to stop in South Africa. But that's not the point, because this guy, Kelsey, he's planning to have this flight from Buenos Aires to Perth. But we flat earthers, for 1 year, trying to fly, hire him to fly over Antarctica, just like he said he would do it. And he went completely silent. He disappeared from radar. Okay. Now he came up with this, that we are going to soon find out. We're going to watch a video of this flight taking place, but there will be no flat earthers. So there's no way to prove the flight is real or not,
No,
did you all see that? Did you all see that few months before there was a flight that they said that landed in Antarctica? No, forget about South Pole or something. Somewhere in very near to Argentina or somewhere. I don't know if you all checked it out. It was maybe a few months ago. It was all over. It was a small flight. It was a jet, but private jet. But they made it reach there, but I don't know which part of Antarctica they're saying and where, but could be anywhere. It could be somewhere with ice, it doesn't have to be Antarctica.
Exactly. So, it's a movie, it's a movie. It could be in the Arctic. It could be anywhere. It could be
Greenland.
Exactly. Yeah, Greenland. Yeah.
That's why I don't trust them.
Exactly. I mean, they release a movie, it's edited. Everything is edited. It could be all CGI. We don't know.
The funny part, Eddie, is that the pilot, the man, the flat earther offered him $300,000, and the Kelsey saying, "Hold that money. I'm going to show you on video." What? Somebody's offering you $300,000 to do that flight, and you're saying, no, wait, I'm going to show you one video. Oh, all right. It's a
That's a red
total red
flag.
flag.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and the sad thing is, like, because it's a big conspiracy, all the news and the they will show this stuff as being real. And I mean, it's so dishonest from their part, just to keep this lie. They have no limits on their lies. Like, they just do it, just to keep people, in the dark, being blind. But some of us are trying to fly, like the guys, even Jaron, he he offered, let's get together. We all of us that earther, we we can book a 767, 747, $600,000, 200 passengers, $3,000 per passenger. Let's fill it with flat earther, and do this flight. But Kelsey, he backed away. And he said, "No, man, I'm just a pilot. I don't own the airplane. I can't do that." After making a lot of noise about it, and now he's gonna produce a
Exactly.
video. So let's see what's going on.
Let's see how
Well,
good he is at editing, right?
Exactly.
Eddie, like you said, there's not going to be anybody but globe earthers there. Nobody for a check, like to check this out live.
No,
So
man, nobody.
it's like giving. It's like giving the keys to the crime scene to the criminals,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah, there's
They're
no
not
Okay,
going to
way.
give us anything
there's
real.
one thing, Eddie. They say on a globe, on their globe map, or on their globe Earth, the distance between Australia to Buenos Aires to Perth is around 304 kilometers. I don't know how much is it in miles. Okay, so on a globe they say that, and how many hours these people are speaking of this flight they are planning. That these things,
Be-
this data, all this data is very important. Okay, then and then okay, go ahead if somebody wants to add.
Well, on the messages that I published on my video, exchanged between the two parties, the company that's renting the plane, they say they calculated between 13 to 15 hours, right? Which is super fast. Now, one of the Globies was telling that the GR, Gulfstream GR 650 extended range ER, is just a twin engine, so it's not going to fly over Antarctica. But 2 years ago, the astronaut Terry Virts, he supposedly flew around the planet from north to south with the same airplane. All right, the same airplane, and I have here the Gulfstream 60 G650ER. Has a range of more than 7,500 miles. So that equals to almost 12,000 kilometers. It should be the same plane was used by Derry Birds, but now the one of the guys say, well, maybe he's not gonna make it with a Gulfstream 650 because it's a twin engine, and they are not allowed to fly twin engine over Antarctica. But Terry Bird supposedly did. So, I mean, they keep changing their story.
Exactly, because I wanted to see the time difference what Captain Marcelo's flight from Australia to
Buenos Aires.
Argentina, and yeah, and how much time they want to cover with the distance they are saying, because on the globe they're saying is around 11,000 miles, 11,000 kilometers, maybe it's 8,000 miles. I don't know how much, but so we should see the differences, because what are the differences? Because how much time you think Captain Marcelo took to that flight when he did that flight between?
14 hours.
It's in your book.
14 hours from Sydney, but they flew with the jet stream.
Right.
Yeah, they fly from Sydney to Buenos Aires with the jet stream, which adds, it can add up to
So
300
they are going
kilometers
against
per
the jet.
hour.
So they're going against the jet stream this time. You think so? And that's why no, but they should be
No,
on
they
both direction. There should be a both
no.
direction, right?
Okay, now that's what I think. They're gonna use two planes because they can't. They have to fly along the jet stream. That's why the flight has to stop in South Africa because leaves Buenos Aires, has to stop in South Africa, and then because that's how it follows the jet stream.
Do they
Yeah,
So
do
but
that
that's
with
why.
okay, but
gas?
Go ahead, Vika.
so my question would be, if they are going to South Africa from Buenos Aires to South Africa, okay, from the tip of South Africa to the first tip of Antarctica is almost more than 2 or 3,000 miles. So what are they planning then? What are they planning? They're gonna go to near Antarctica, then go up to South Africa, then go down again to Antarctica to say they crossed Antarctica. How does it make? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Now,
Funny.
my idea is just like I put out in the video. If they are really carrying passengers, like 13, 14 people, I don't know, they're gonna have to use two planes. One's gonna leave Buenos Aires, pretending to be flying directly, and the second plane is leaving South Africa, which is just like probably 12 hours from South Africa to Perth, and they will film the second plane arriving as being the first. Right?
Mm.
Once the first plane takes off, they forget about the first plane. They will focus on the second plane. That's one way they can fake it. All right. The second way is they already go ahead and film the people in Perth, like at the airport, pretending they just arrived, and then they
Yeah, that is
film
what is gonna
them
happen.
taking off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so
yeah, they're
too. I
gonna.
think so too.
But I think they're not even gonna rent a plane. They're gonna maybe rent for a couple of hours on the tarmac. These people are boarding the plane, and the same people after are getting off the plane, and maybe some shots in the cabin, watching the windows, outside the window, or seeing their mobile, some GPS. Only that shit. They're not even gonna do the trip, because
Yeah, it's a movie.
if they're having Eddie, if they're having South Africa in their route, they are nowhere near Antarctica, so it doesn't make any sense about this flight. So the question becomes, they are not flying over South Pole, they are not flying over near Antarctica, they're just doing a flight from Buenos Aires to Australia. That's what they are doing. That's all. And this doesn't make any
Exactly.
sense for us. There are many flights that used to exist up and down the same route, and that's what they're going to do. They're not going to disprove of anything, because if they go fly over South Pole, that is when they're going to try to debunk the flat Earth. But they are not going to even touch. Even they're not
Yeah.
even coming to 1,000 miles of Antarctica. So what is the whole situation here? No.
Yes, yes. They're gonna release a movie. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna release it. That's why the Kelsey said, wait for the video. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna release a movie and
Wait for
claim,
the video. Yeah, that's it.
yeah, and claim they flew over the South Pole. That's what they're gonna do.
So they're not even going to do it live. They're just going to release something.
Yeah, just like they did a few months ago. There was a flight supposedly going from Buenos Aires to uh, Darwin in
Yeah.
Australia.
Okay.
All right. They released a 14 seconds video. Okay. 14 seconds. Now look at this. You can find, you go to YouTube, you find time lapse flights. You find going from Paris to Seoul. You find from going from New York to Moscow, from Istanbul to Frankfurt. You find all sorts of time lapses. Okay, but
Exactly.
the supposed historic flight over Antarctica, there's only a 14 seconds video released. Okay,
Nice
I
job,
mean,
guys.
yeah, yes, that's how bad it gets. And but and the problem is like the press says, oh, they really flew over Antarctica, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they'll call it evidence and proof. And
They
and
themselves they themselves say that no flight no flight cannot be more than, even if they are somewhere near the coast of Antarctica, they cannot be more than 16 minutes, okay, 1 6 in that area. And if they are not identified or whatever, they're gonna just take it down. You know, that's their own rule of FAA, you know, about
Right.
Antarctica. So how the hell these people are gonna get any kind of permit to even come near the border of Antarctica?
Yeah, what happened to the Antarctica Treaty, right?
Yep.
well, they have to pass the 60th parallel south. Is that what you mean? Because you're not allowed past there. That's the
Yeah,
furthest south you can go.
if you're flying over Antarctica, you have to cross that 60th parallel. You know, there's no other way.
But that's not where you're not allowed to pass that without permits, and that's they don't just hand those permits out.
Exactly. So that's why, let's wait for this video, what this pilot has in mind, what they are planning. But also, I want to point this out here. NASA is the one that rules Antarctica. NASA rules Antarctica.
Yeah, but in reality, Antarctica is from nobody. You know, nobody owns. You don't need a visa to go to Antarctica. Okay, you need a
Right.
permit from the country you belong. That's it. You know,
Right.
and even if they give you, they were just gonna give you somewhere near, near the border somewhere. That's it. They're
Yeah,
not
but
gonna let. Yeah,
do you know the rules you have to follow to get that permit? They're insane. You
yeah,
can't
that's
bring.
right. First of all, you need loads of money, and even if you
Yeah,
get, you're gonna get maybe a few hundred kilometers near the coast of Antarctica. You're not gonna be near the South Pole, what they claim. So
you can't bring the provisions you need. You have to bring everything with you. You have to bring everything back. You have to go to the bathroom in a bag and bring it back with you, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. You can't go hunting. You have to bring your food. It's crazy what you have to agree to be able to do that. Like nobody can
yeah,
really.
it's just
You can't do it. You can't do what they want you to do to survive there.
exactly. And the best part is they start with scaring. It's so cold, it's so dark, it's so
Right? Yeah.
you know. And the main reason, one of the main reason for them to say that the flight cannot operate over Antarctica is because of cold. Okay, because
Right.
of pressure fluctuation, because of temperature fluctuation. If that's happening, how the hell any flight can go if they are saying it's like that, right?
Right.
Wow, but when you fly in 39,000 feet, you know, the temperature up there is so much colder than you find in Antarctica. So, I mean, you flying
Wow.
40,000 feet above, it's much colder than the temperature in Antarctica. But, I mean, it doesn't really make sense what the rules are over Antarctica.
Exactly. So they just make it up that if there was a way to fly over the South Pole, there exists a South Pole like a globe, there would have, should have been, and would have been the flight. So really, it doesn't make any sense what these people are trying. So, and the funny
Exactly.
part is that even if they pull it off like this by faking it, and people are gonna many are gonna believe it also, but the people don't realize that how can these people, after so many hundreds of years, these are the first people to cross South Pole on a flight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people should be smart, and realize that they are faking this stuff. They will be faking this stuff. So, let's just hope that it backfires on them.
Exactly. So hey, Brett, welcome, Brett. How are you?
Not bad about yourselves.
Excellent,
How
great
are
to
you,
have you
Brad?
guys. This is Brett Freeman, aeronautical engineer from Flatten the Curve documentary. So I don't know, Brett, if you heard us when we were discussing the topic.
No, I was actually trying to see if compressed air would run on my car. Wasn't doing
Did you push it?
Nah, I was changing out some.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, those things that the fuel, gets ignited by the spark plugs, But yeah,
And Brett, as it turns out, all engines, all internal combustion engines, they run on compressed air, but only as the result of combustion from fuel. There you go. No compressed air without combustion. There you go.
correct. You ain't getting that compressor turn without the combustion. The compressed air is the result of the combustion chamber.
Not the other way around, right?
No.
Exactly. That's the point.
Beautiful.
No thrust without combustion. So don't ever let anybody tell you anything different.
So today, I talk about the fact that it literally takes 39 hours to traverse what they would consider half of a hemisphere on their globe model. I mean, they can't get there faster than 33 hours. I mean, some flights take 61 due to the layover locations. But is that what this is about? The flight over South Pole?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I'm sure Qatar Airways would love to know how that works out.
So, Brett, we're talking about this guy, this pilot called Kelsey. He challenged flat earthers to hire him to fly us over the Antarctica, And then when we put up, we offer him the money, he backed away, Now there's a guy here. He was willing to pay him like 300,000 pounds. That's like almost $400,000. Okay, and but he said he's gonna produce a video of this flight. He's not taking any flat earthers with him, but he's gonna produce a video. So we are discussing the ways they're gonna fake it. Okay, that's what we are doing because they're gonna fake it. There's no way to do it.
No, I know. That's why I said I looked when Vic and I talked last week about this show coming up. The first thing I did was look at the route they would have to take, and it seems the shortest route is to go from Buenos Aires to Brazil through GRU Airport, then on into Doha, right, which literally is on the other side of quote unquote their hemisphere, right, and then on into Australia after that. Now, why would you need to do all of that if you can just go on the bottom side of your I say salad bowl, right? If you look at the Earth's two hemispheres, two halves, right, just go off from the bottom of your one side of your salad bowl around the bottom and on up to the other side. Why do you literally have to take 33 hours to cross 24 time zones, a day and a half to stay on the same hemisphere?
Exactly.
That makes no sense whatsoever. Your equator is only 25,000 miles, right? And you got 24 time zones. Why are you taking 33 hours to get there if you're on the same hemisphere?
Exactly. And they will have to cross the equator twice.
Yes. Yes, in their model, yes. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
That makes no sense.
Exactly. And south to south, they should just be able to really fly over the South Pole, which it's impossible because Earth is not a ball. But now one option, one of the company offered them was to fly from Buenos Aires to South Africa and then from South Africa to Perth. That's flying with the jet stream, but that's not flying on a ball. It's flying over the flat Earth. It just proved that the Earth is flat.
Right. You're not getting there less than 33 hours, period. You can fly in a plane.
Exactly. That's why I was asking, Brett. That's why I was asking Eddie, how much hours does it take, even if it's on a ball or on a flat Earth? How much time is going to take in a straight line from Australia, from Buenos Aires to Perth or Australia? And I think even 14 or even 19 hours, I think is too less. It should take more hours because it's such a huge distance.
Yeah, even if you can actually get a plane like a 777 or an AS, I want to say it's an AS350 1000. I think that's the model. You can fly as high as 18, 19 hours. That's fine.
Right.
But how far are you going in that time frame? What's the useful load? Now, is he the only one in the airplane? And what plane is he taking? Is he going to take a little puddle jumper? He probably don't have the
No,
ability to borrow somebody's, 777.
he's taking a Gulfstream 650 GR.
You got jokes, brother. You got jokes. Oh, Jesus. This one of those compressed air guys. He thinks he's just going to be doing an in-air refuel and flying on compressed. He ain't making it across no pond. I took a King Air 350 from Maryland, Hagerstown. We had to stop in Goose Bay. We had to stop in Iceland. We had to stop in England. We had to stop in France. We had to stop in a couple of other places before we could even get back to Iraq, which is still pretty much the straightest path. We're not deviating because we're trying to get our plane back to where we need it to be. However, it took 6 days to do so. 6 days. Now, granted, we're only doing 2 legs a day, but that's still flying 12 hours at, a couple 100 miles an hour in a straight line. This guy is not going to be flying much faster than that. He's not going to be doing it in 13 hours, I can assure you.
I'd say
No way.
also
No
13 hours is impossible. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It takes 5 from New York to California.
Let me ask you this. Qatar Airways has airlines that go from Buenos Aires, or they're affiliated with other airlines, like the Delta and the KLM used to made up when you would fly from Atlanta to Doha. You'd go through either Holland or Charles de Gaulle Airport in France to get to Doha. Then they had the direct flights for a while. Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Any contractor going in the war zone area at the time can tell you that. However, why is the Qatar Airways has a 33-hour flight with 2 minimum stops in Brazil and in Doha? If you can just, like I said, go around the bottom side of your fishbowl or your salad bowl, your hemisphere, your bottom half, and just do it in 13 hours. Why are they taking a 19-hour flight from Brazil to Doha? If you can do the whole damn thing in 13 hours.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, and that's why I was also
crossing the
saying
equator 2 times.
exactly. Yeah, it's going up and down, and as we were mentioning before too, that even if they are going near South Africa, they are not on the route. They are not even they're on the route to near Antarctica, and there's a lot of distance, and we are speaking about few thousands of miles. So, okay, the other thing I wanted to say also, Brett, they say that on their ball it's 11,000 kilometers, okay, and 11,000 kilometers they're going to cover in 13 hours. That is ridiculous, okay, with the speed of the planes and the jet streams. Even if it's 11,000, it's 13 or 14 hours is a lot of time.
They're not going to get their 11,000 miles in 13 hours.
It's 1,000 miles
No,
an
we
hour.
are.
50 miles
No,
an
I'm
hour.
saying
Are they breaking speed barriers or what?
You need a Concorde.
Yeah, you're going to be breaking the speed of sound, which that plane will fall apart. They're not breaking the speed of sound with that thing. I mean, if you do the simple math, just take 11,000 miles and divide it by 13.
Yeah,
You're going to get like 833 miles an hour or some crap.
Yeah.
Well, on any good day, the speed of sound is between 637 and 643 miles an hour. Depending on pressure, altitude, pressure density, all that crap. It varies a little bit, but it ain't varying
not that much.
Hundreds of miles an hour. Just like that guy Philip Baumgartner or whatever.
Yeah.
Talking about breaking the sound
Red Bull
barrier.
jump.
Oh, really? Because the speed of sound is 600 something miles an hour. Free fall, or 9.8 meters per second squared, is still only about 121 miles an hour. So try again, assholes. He didn't break no sound barrier. I mean,
was that the Red Bull jump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Free fall is only about 120.
They showed the flat Earth in one of the scenes there. There's a few
Oh
things
yeah,
wrong
they
with
had
that.
the GoPro, and even the rope was bent. How does a limp rope bend like that? Come on.
No, there's a lot of things wrong in that video.
But yeah, they ain't breaking the sound barrier. They're not getting there in 13 hours.
No way.
You know, they're probably only doing 500, maybe 550. You'd be pushing 600 if you're. I mean, you'd be cruising at 600 miles an hour in those big boys. But even in this little Challenger jet, nah, man, they're going to be refueling several times.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So one of the. Go ahead, Vika.
No, go ahead, Eddie.
So what we are talking about, like what I made a video about, is that they're gonna fake it. They're gonna have two airplanes at least, one taking off Buenos Aires, and then they forget about that plane, while the second plane is taking off probably South Africa and arriving in Perth, and they will claim that's one plane only. They did it in 13 hours. Okay, that's the way they're gonna fake it, or they're gonna fake the whole thing, like arriving in Perth, they filming, and they edit, and they just show people taking off, the
Yeah,
airplane
it'll be
flying,
like a
landing.
game or something. I was fooled the other day. I was actually on Facebook, and it said something about plane crash, British Airways, something else.
In China?
Looking at this thing is first person perspective. And,
Okay.
it looks real time. Like you're in the cockpit. I'm like, man, that seems bizarre. And this thing's coming in and it lands short. It slams into this barrier. But as the barrier got closer, I could see that it was pixelated, like computer done. And I'm just like,
Right.
wow, those graphics have gotten a lot better. They're taking note, like, man, people are going to start using like Armageddon's director to show these asteroids and, we're on the moon and, it's going to get a lot better. So
Right.
we got to get on
Yeah.
our P's and Q's.
It's blue.
We already have packs.
Blue
We
Beam is
already have
coming.
packs of sci-fi packs where you can put the moon on your background in a video, like the aliens are attacking, and another Jupiter is spinning on the other side. Everything is possible right now. Anybody can do it on your. Don't
Fun
need to be in Hollywood.
Did you know Stanley Kubrick wanted aliens in the background when he was shooting the moon landing? The CIA was like, "Are you kidding us?" Beep 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 beep. They made it very clear, no, no. And I think that's one of the reasons he has subtle hints in some of his movies later, like The Shining with the Apollo 13 pad or the Apollo 11 pad.
Room 237.
Yeah, all the room numbers, the kids wearing the
The
Apollo T-shirt or the sweater.
Exactly.
There's so many things
the
associated
rug on
with
the
it afterwards.
floor.
Those are all
The
Easter
Singapore
eggs.
story.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Well, sorry I was late, but they ain't going. They're not going. They're not staying on their half the fish bowl, the salad bowl. Their hemisphere.
Yeah,
It makes
Brett,
no sense why you'd be taking 36 hours to traverse your half, the bottom half that you keep saying you can get to.
yeah, I looked up
The reason James Cook took 2.5 years and 63,000 miles, right? He was losing 8 miles a day on the maps that he knew existed at the time. He was losing 8 miles. I should be here, but I'm 8 miles short. I should be here. I'm now another 8 miles short every day because, well, Antarctica's a little bigger than they said it was.
and the arc they show Eddie, going from South America, going towards the globe below, and then again going up to Australia. It's just so ridiculous because even on a Google map, on a Google Earth, take a measurement tool, put it from Buenos Aires to Perth, and you're going to see it just goes right above the South Pole. Okay.
Right.
Even on their own Google Earth, but there is no, and it's the most shortest. The curved line, even a curved line, is the most shortest, and it goes right above. So they just play tricks. They're speaking about their globe. They're showing on a Mercator or a flat map that arc route. What are they playing with? It not really makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of dishonesty.
8,000 miles if you're taking a 19-hour trip, from Brazil to Doha, let alone the rest of the flights.
Yeah, I just looked up one that stops Madrid, Spain, and then Doha, and then to Perth, Australia. But Spain, Doha, both in the northern hemisphere. Where's all the northern flights that have to go south to get back into the north?
It
Okay,
ain't
there are
happening.
flights. Exactly, there are flights from Doha that goes all the way Turkey, all the way towards the north, and goes all the way on a flat map. It shows a straight line, but on a globe, they show you the road exactly over going near Greenland and passing through North Canada and all the way into states. Okay, if those flights exist, why shouldn't there exist if this flight in south exists, right? Like how Eddie was saying.
And they still don't let you get close enough to the center north. Zero north.
No, no,
They
the closest I have
you'll fly over
seen,
Greenland and
the
you'll fly
closest
over.
I've seen is 300 miles. No, 300 miles to the north on the GPS what they were showing. Okay, so that somebody had the GPS in their hand on their mobile, and the more closest they are passing towards the north, uh, GPS north, magnetic north, or the real north, we don't know. 300 miles, and all you could see is ice there. Okay, on this route, what I'm speaking about, no, it goes from the Middle East all the way to US
Well, they
on the
tell me there's ice
northern hemisphere.
north and Santa Claus is there, but show me, because I know Greenland's cold and I know it's ice, but I think there's more to it. I think there's a little more up there. You know, they tell us that we don't go
So,
to it. It's just nothing but ice and the North Pole, so to speak. Show me.
so maybe they could have some device that's showing false center to on
Huh.
that GPS.
You know, you can fake GPS. You know, GPS it can be faked. There's an app. You can download an app. You fake a location. You can fake a GPS location. You can do it.
Yeah, you can make it look like you're in Manhattan or California or
Exactly.
just anywhere. Yeah,
I can't pretend I'm in India right now. You know.
yeah.
Well, they call the center the. I mean, I've seen it referenced as tree of life, and I don't mean physically a tree, but it's where the waters separate. You know, if you look at the window symbol, you got red, yellow, blue, and green. I'm not sure which one
Right.
it's in, but there's old maps that an old cartographer, limited to the distance, but he shows 4 areas where they come together at the center. Well,
Yeah, like on the Mount Meru, they all have, many cultures also. Yeah, the
I
four
don't know
corners that meets.
specifically where
Yeah,
that's at, but I've seen it referenced as the center. I know that we call center north. Any step in any direction south. I know Polaris is above it. I mean, as much as people don't like the guide stones in Georgia, they are a perfect example and it's literally written in stone, that we are flat and stationary. We are level. Sorry, I hate using the word flat. We are level and stationary because Polaris never moves. How in the millennia that we've been recording history have we never deviated when looking up and looking at Polaris?
They
And
say it did, but
that fact alone disproves the globe right there. There's no motion, no curve, period.
I like to say it's kind of like driving in your car and the same scenery keeps passing by every day or every night, but every night it's for us the same stars. They never change position. There's no parallax in them.
That would be like
each other. That's right.
You're right. That'd be like driving the car and the scenery doesn't change. It stays with us the whole time, which is absurd and impossible.
It's crazy. And that one always got me when I was a space fan. I'm like, how does that happen? How does that happen? They burned me. How does that happen?
You're forever wondering, and one day you woke up and realized that's how it happens, because it doesn't happen.
Because it doesn't. Yep, it all came crashing down. It was wonderful.
Trust the science.
Yeah, trust the seance.
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? The Bible doesn't say trust me. The Bible says prove me. Literally, the Bible says prove all things. It doesn't say trust. Even Paul in the Bible doesn't say trust me. He says prove me. Prove the Bible, and there it is. The liars say trust me. The Bible even says prove me, and I will prove what I say. Powerful, isn't it?
They accept the reality with which we are presented
in the school at a young age.
But that's not fair, because they got us when we're young, and our parents were taught, and their parents were taught.
Yep.
So they have an unfair advantage. So it's, they're
Yeah,
annoying.
it's an uphill battle. But
Yeah.
I'm even getting 40-year-old aircraft mechanics that are like, we'll be talking about something completely unrelated, and they're like, man, that's intriguing. Tell me more. And I'm like, dude, if you only knew what I know, you don't have a clue. He's like, teach me.
Tell them, brother.
All right.
Here's
the
what you
water
do,
bottle.
Brett.
Here we go.
Tell them straight and level, and make your hand fly straight and level, not around the curve. That should be enough for them, right?
No, I just use a
Now,
water bottle. There's
There
like
you go.
9
The
different
water
examples
bottle
of
ain't
water
moving.
bottle.
Water's flat. There you go.
Rob, what do you say? Water is
also,
a motion sensor.
There you go. Water is a motion sensor. There you go.
100%.
and
Right?
and Brett being an engineer also, and you, Rob, also, you all know this. We also spoke about that. No, like the ADI proved that there is no curve, and the compass, the heading compass, proved there is no spin. That two instruments freaking destroys the globe, and you two guys
Absolutely.
can really
Absolutely,
prove that.
And it really is that simple. The water bottle shows there's no movement. The ADI proves that the aircraft fly with their nose up, not down, and the aircraft route,
heading compass.
time distance heading proved, the fact that the aircraft can go on direct or dead reckoning proves that there is no Coriolis. There is no spin. Correct, Vika.
What is the ADI?
Earhart coming home and explaining how she did her route, because I honestly believe with absolute certainty there was no way, just like the billionaires on board the Titanic, there was absolutely no way she was getting home.
That's correct. You're absolutely right. She was marooned. They had a crash, and the U.S. Coast Guard ignored her. The U.S. Navy ignored their calls for help, left them to die. Yes.
All I'm saying is there was no way they were going to allow her to come home and explain how she did what she did.
Amelia Earhart?
The other, because they were proven the flat Earth. Yes, they were. That flight was proving it.
Based on
all right, guys.
Right now, the route that would have been taken. Well, why didn't you just do this if it's a globe? Why didn't you go this way? It would have been a shorter distance, blah, blah, blah. Well, because I can't. It would have been impossible to do what you're talking about.
Exactly. Because that landmass does not exist where that map says it does.
Like I said, James Cook loses 8 miles every day. Not overall, but every day he would be on his map saying, I expect to be here, and now I'm 8 miles short. So now I wake up the next day. I expect to be here, and I'm 8 miles short again. All throughout.
How many days?
2.5 years.
How many days?
2.5 years.
He flew all, he
720 days.
The entire circle.
Like 900 days.
Yeah, 900
days. 2 years. 730 is 2 years.
900.
It took over almost 900 years, and then the French guy behind him did the exact same thing.
Really?
It took over 63,000 miles to traverse the bottom half of your salad bowl, when the rim of your salad bowl is 25,000 miles only.
Wow.
Explain how that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
As Neil Dumas would say, it's it's an oblate spheroid. It's kind of fat and sag on the bottom. Well, at 25,000 miles, if that's the widest part of the Earth, then how does somebody explain 63,000 miles and 2.5 years later?
Right. The records prove it. And ship navigators don't lie when they're writing their calculations down. They're writing down for posterity and for records. If their ship goes down, they want their record to stay there. That was legitimate. They write down where they're at. Why would he invent something like that? In other words,
exactly. And in the end, he measured the Earth. He measured the circumference for us in a way, so for free.
So we know.
There you go. And I want to point out here, any single factor that we mentioned at any time, any single factor is enough to disprove the spinning ball globe. Any single one. And when we do these webcasts, how many factors do we mention? We mention hundreds at a time. And the
Yeah.
sum of everything just destroys the globe concept, whereas any single factor in itself destroys it as well. But the combination is just overwhelming.
One of the guys who said that the Golf 650 ER, the extended range model, can make it, right? Another one said, no, it's just a twin engines, just two engines, it's not going to make it. But supposedly, as I pointed out before, Terry Virts, the astronaut, flew around both poles with the exactly same airplane, the Gulfstream G650ER. So that's probably another fake flight as well. No, I don't know.
Like another fake one?
Well, the way he flew from Florida to Kazakhstan, from Kazakhstan to Mauritius, the island on the east coast of Africa. Yep. From there, he went to Punta something in Chile, and then from Chile back to Florida. But if you look on the globe, it doesn't go over Antarctica. The flight from Mauritius to Chile, he just comes over Africa, So he didn't really fly over the poles as they claim, and the press publicized that he flew over the both poles. He didn't. All right. So most of those flights, they say they circumnavigated from north to south. If you look closely, they don't. They didn't do that. And then when you point on the flat Earth map, then that's where it makes more sense. You understand the route on the flat Earth map better than on the globe.
Exactly, because if you see,
it's all fake anyway.
Yeah,
everything is fake. So we can start there, right? We know that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear pretty clearly.
I just think this is like a desperate move on their end. Do you know what I mean? Like they have to go through all this trouble and all this publicity and all this propaganda just to try and make up a flight that will try and debunk our map. But
right.
Exactly.
I think they're probably feeling the heat from Flatten the Curve, the movie. Yep. They're probably feeling the heat, and then they're trying to come up with something.
There you go.
But the could be.
Yeah.
You'd think they would invite a few well-known flat earthers, though, in public. If they're so proud of themselves, they would invite some of us, so some of the big names, right?
Oh, right. I would love to have Neil on the 50-yard line during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because as you say, Eddie, because that's why, because they cannot really disprove the science what we have shown in the Flatten the Curve. So they're coming up with these red flags hoax, But the best part is, like, we have to ask them, hey, screw the video, show us the exact route, show us the exact timing, show us the exact stopovers, show us exact the permits, show us the fuel, show us everything.
Right.
Not just one video that you're gonna say, we've been. Yeah, do it live. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just like Max Sigan, he was alive when he was flying from Chile, Santiago, Chile to Sydney. He was showing live on Google Live at that time, and so they should be able to do the same, not just presenting a video.
Exactly, so, and on a plane nowadays you have camera on every angle, show us live of all the angles, so that people can.
Yeah, I wouldn't
coordinating
really
with the route through the.
Every flight is planned down to every detail. It's literally that simple, very easy. They could show everything, and every pilot will show everything. Actually it's a matter of public record. However, the fact that they won't show it is no different than turning around the Hubble telescope and looking at the Earth and showing the people in Australia walking upside down. It's
Right.
the same thing. They'll never do it because they can't. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They lost
Like
that technology.
yeah, he lost it. Yeah.
It's too hard to build it back.
It's a painful process to bring it back.
Now, if I take a city bus here, if I take a city bus, there are at least like 3 cameras filming inside and outside. If I go to the takeout store here next to my house, there are like 8 cameras showing all around and inside and out. But they show a flight going from Buenos Aires to Darwin, and they just released a 14 seconds video. You know,
10-hour flight, and they submit a 14-second video. What liar?
yeah,
What
yeah.
liar?
I mean, it's incredible, man.
Yeah, because I remember, Eddie, I remember when these guys were doing a couple of years back, these guys were planning to do this, and they were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And they were so much hyped up, to do this. They wanted to do this couple of years back also. And I read somebody from Antarctica saying, some scientists like, oh yeah, I'm here in Antarctica. I would confirm that this plane passed over, all this crap they were speaking about. But
Our
nothing.
actors, they are all members of secret societies. So they're liars by profession,
And those guys.
You just said it. You nailed it, Eddie. Right there. They're liars by profession, like the Medes. The Medes.
Exactly.
Some of the ones you meet though, they'll say, "Oh, I'm in that group," and they don't take into consideration that there's a hierarchy in there, and they don't all know everything that the other guys know, and they're not going to always tell you everything because they're not allowed. They're protecting their status. So it's kind of like, does a stewardess know how to fly a plane? Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly right.
They don't all know all the things.
It's compartmented. That's the word, compartmented.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, need to know.
Yep.
So that's fact. So there are people.
So yeah, it's time, Eddie, to even question again Kelsey. What are you showing us fake videos? Oh, sorry for the word. Go and debunk the instruments. Go and debunk what we are trying to show. Go and debunk the radars you are using. Go and debunk all the GPS you are using there. With your triangulation with the towers. Go and debunk. That's real science you need to debunk, not by putting a video of some people that we did a route that you're not going to be not even near by a few thousand miles from there, what they are planning to do. So it's all really irrelevant. Irrelevant. What are they trying to show? They want people to look somewhere else. So
when does it come out? Is there a date that's supposed to release it?
Well, the flight was supposed to take place. It is supposed to take place April 8th, and then there's another date, like it's April the 20th. So let's just wait now.
I mean, they keep saying they got new rings on Uranus, and they keep finding these distant, locations, Vietnam style, and new galaxy, and a new star, and I mean, they have to keep perpetuating the lie. Just like in every movie, they'll reference some star. We were watching some random movie the other night, and they're referencing some galaxy and how big the stars are at night, just to reiterate to the fucking crowd, to the fans, to the audience, as to where they live and what's going on, and it's just constant reiteration. Global life insurance commercials. I mean, come on,
all the candy bars, Mars, Milky Way, all that's everything. So we're being pummeled.
Right. Yep.
So literally, they're not going anywhere with this, So only these questions, like, what are you gonna do in Africa? Is gonna all these kind of questions, is gonna just make them That's at how obsolete is their attempt, you know.
Have
So,
him show
and
us
we know we have so many.
for the
Yep. Go ahead,
fuel.
Brett.
Have him show us a receipt for the fuel from the fuel services when he does it with his name and that Challenger on that day. I'm sure he can fabricate it. You know, I mean, we're all pretty good at doing that shit sometimes. But have him show us his route.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
flight
I would say,
plan. I would like to see the flight
yeah,
plan before.
Yeah, because
yeah,
clearly he
and
won't be under like some like we were. We had several different numbers depending on what actions we were taking. If he's doing this commercially, which he would be, or as a civilian, you should clearly be able to see exactly where he is.
Right.
Right? Who's funding this guy?
We don't know. He's not telling us. He's not telling
Oh
anything.
bullshit! BS, man, it's bullshit. It's BS.
Yeah,
yeah,
Hollywood
it's a
probably.
publicity stunt, brother. Yeah, it's a publicity stunt, and no, and many is gonna fall, even if it's just a normal flight. Maybe it's not even gonna won't be a flight in reality.
He's
Yeah,
getting
it's
a
a
check
virtual
ride on a
flight.
Cessna, 180 or something. A check ride.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Let's
sucks
see
we have
what
to
goes up
entertain.
with this.
It sucks we have to entertain that stuff.
Here he say there, Abder Rahman Aviation says there's a flight route between Buenos Aires and Cape Town. Fact, but for military aircraft.
And I can
I
promise you they land somewhere else in between. You know, I can assure you they land somewhere first to refuel.
Yeah, they stopping. Uh, Let me see here. I have the flat Earth map here with me. So they probably stopping actually in Africa, North Africa, before heading to South Africa.
Anywhere
That's
from Jordan to Germany to there's not Turkmenistan. It's Manus. I can't remember what.
but they can also stop in Sierra Leone or like in Cape Cape Verde, Capo Verde,
Well, they got Manda Bay right there. They've got Djibouti.
right?
Yeah, they got several places they could go.
Yep.
And even if they go just mid of Africa, why would they come down to South Africa? They can just cross over and continue in a straight line, you know. So
Exactly. Yep.
because once you pass the part of Africa, you are already in the Indian Ocean or Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, you know, very near. So it's more in a straight line.
Yep.
Rob, Brett, Eddie. The ADI
Yep.
is going to be upside down the whole time, though, right?
Yeah.
Indeed, it will be. You'll be right side up, yet it's upside down. But when you land, it's right side up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. This. I don't know. Like I actually took part of uh, a, a show like this in Brazil, and some globies in Brazil, they truly believe they are upside down. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's like, come on. I flew, like Rio to New York so many times, and I mean, you just take off, you fly level and land in New York City, and that's how it is. Out playing, just like Brett said in the movie. The beaches in France and in Brazil and New York City, they're all level. They're all the same level. But these people, I don't know, man, what they have in mind.
Yeah, they're the same height for sure. Yeah, I mean, no matter how slow, your body will tell you when you are upside down. And that is why that little blonde lady that pretends to be in NASA on the ISS, her veins and shit are screaming in her neck
Right?
because she's
Yeah.
being harnessed, right?
Exactly.
And
When
even
you're
the
in true
guys,
zero gravity,
And
you
the
will get
hairspray.
heart palpitations and throwing signs and shit and sign language and Morse code in your veins and your neck because you're straining to, try to get some fake point across, while harnessed. Your body would know upside down and right side up.
But let me ask you something, Brett. Maybe you or Rob could hit on the vestibular system and how it would affect these guys, and how it seems like it would be impossible to do what they're doing with the vestibular system. Is that right?
Are you talking about what with the IS people?
Well, yeah.
Man,
how is it not how does
that's a whole nother show?
Right? Doesn't it? The vestibular system just kind of it ruins the whole story, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does it not. I mean, look at any particular thing that they've done. Any one thing. The guy's like,
stand up straight,
hardware, and it falls. Dunk.
Yeah, right. The nut that falls on the ground.
Right, it would go in no direction at all.
Right.
So for 5 seconds, when you're in that aircraft, it goes up and then comes down and then goes up. For 5 seconds, you're in a free fall.
The vomit comet.
The airplane. So you feel zero, right? Because you're going the same speed as the airplane itself.
Okay.
I mean, how do they get away with that shit on the ISS outside of the quote unquote aircraft? Moving
how does your
miles an hour, which, mind you, you should be seeing circumnavigate you every hour and a half.
Right.
Every hour and a half, you should see that thing coming by. We should constantly be seeing it. Did it take a day off? Did they turn it off and they're gonna start it back up later? I don't know. You know.
No, I used to subscribe to what they call Spot the Station, and they email you when it's
is that the NORAD station next to Spot Santa Claus?
Yeah. No, and it's only like every 2 or 3 weeks it passes over your house.
Wow, so isn't that weird? It must be going.
Where does it go?
Really slow.
Even if it's traveling like.
They're supposedly 17,000 miles an hour, and it takes 3 weeks to come back again. Hold on a second. Like everything else, it does not compute.
Right. Well, no. What I'm saying is, if you want to check that out for yourself, anyone in the audience can go to Spot the Station and you see how infrequently you really see it.
And when questioned, they turn your comments off, and then keep the little 8th grader. Wow, I want to be what you're doing when I grow up.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Fool the children. That's their mantra.
That's really what it's about.
I like that.
Can't fool the adults anymore.
Buzz, though. How come you don't think we've ever gone back? Well, that's not an 8-year-old question, is it? Well, question nonetheless.
How many tech? How many tech these people already have to have something airborne for weeks? How many techs they have? So they could fly any crap every few hours just to people who are following it on the app or looking for ISS. Anything could just fly with a light bulb and people will be like, it's ISS.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, it's so easy. It's so easy.
If you look at the size of the ISS, it's 2 football fields compared to a 747, and the distance of a 747 is 8 miles, and the ISS is 200 or something. You should not be able to see it. Right? Is that right?
Right, but you can't see the football fields from the little airplane you're in at 30,000 feet, which is only 5 miles.
Right, exactly.
You know, exactly 5 miles up, you can't even see a goddamn national park, let alone a football field. But the ISS is actually only like 300 feet. Not 2 football fields, but like 1. Yeah, it fits inside of a stadium. And of course, it looks like it's changed over the years because they keep changing the design of it to reflect aircraft that might be similar in design when flying, you know, over your head. And you actually do get a peek at an airplane flying over. Oh, look at that. This must be the ISS because it's got drop tanks over my head. You know, you catch an aircraft flying over that resembles it, like a U-2 or whatever the hell it is. It ain't no ISS.
But imagine 400 kilometers altitude. That's too much height and to be visible. Okay, we see the jet at 10 kilometers high altitude, and we see how small we see it at 400 kilometers. That's just insane.
But just remember, they expect to see China from where they're sitting if it's level, because they can't comprehend. You can still only see so far.
Yeah.
You know, you can show them a lighter at your end of the table and a lighter at the far end of the table 10 feet away, and they still can't fathom the fact that table's not curving away because the lighter's not the same size.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got it through like third grade art class, but
It's just how you say it. You leave a few things out and keep going. You know what it is? You got to pass all those classes, so you don't have too much time to really delve into the questions. And some of the, sometimes a kid can't ask the serious questions.
no, but when you're 35 years old, I mean,
Well, it's
chasing water with your cup, or is it contained?
That's a different story.
If you uncontain the water, it tends to run a little bit. And then when you try to explain why it's running, because it's not contained, it's not level, it hasn't sought its lowest point. It just goes on and on. It's annoying.
It gets problematic because that's all real science, and they don't know, or they won't address it.
They weren't taught it.
Yes, most people don't understand it, and even if they do, the liars will never touch it. Right? They'll never talk on real science level.
Here's something also about the ISS is that most of the times I only saw it at night, and it seems pretty lit up. Do they have such bright lights on that thing inside there, or they have lights on the outside? I don't know.
Well, I got several questions for you. Why is everything they have to do on the outside of the craft?
Yeah.
I don't see anybody working on
the inside.
on the outside of it. All of their technology and all the things they're doing are on the inside. The reason they're on the outside with their little GoPro is so they can literally make you think that they're on the outside of the ISS working on it. Because if they were just simply in some building doing wires all the time, you could say, well, they're on the inside of some building in Hollywood. Well, they still are, but look, there's a globe behind us.
Yeah. And the guy with the camera never took one selfie and doesn't point to the Earth 6 feet off the camera.
Never once has he pointed it behind him. You know what? Let's end the debate. Turn the camera around and forever make every flat earther a glober once again. Turn the camera 180 degrees.
Not even for us, but for them. Come on, you're in space, so you don't want to show the Earth. What's the matter with you?
And the best part is from a cruising altitude at 45,000 feet, you don't see a curvature. Okay, but at 400 kilometers altitude, you see the curvature. Okay, so what exact height does the Earth start curvature? Only that figure. If somebody can give us that figure,
I can give it to you. Robert
666 miles.
And he said you have to be high as hell to see that curve.
No, but they are seeing at 400 kilometers from ISS. But from the cruising altitude, we can't see the. So what is that exact altitude?
Wait,
hold on a second. Felix Baumgartner fell out of his little chute thing. He even said you can't see the curvature from even his height because you're. But
Neil deGrasse Tyson said he can't see it from 2 millimeters above this beach ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's
talking
the video
about the ISS.
Yeah,
right?
He was talking about that guy free falling or whatever.
Boats go over the curve at sea level, though, right?
Right, 3 miles, 4 or 5 miles away. Well, 3 miles is all you can see.
I don't know. My periscope's got that ionospheric bend to it. It's just seeing the future. It's just going around that curve. I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I'm gonna bounce off for the night.
Yeah, we too. It's almost 2 hours plus hours. Yep, and it's quite late here too. So we drifted almost too off the topic, but it's always good. It's always nice. We always dismantle the globe. So that's great. So yeah, we'll have last thoughts and then we're gonna wrap it up, guys. So who wants to go ahead?
I'm gonna be the first one here.
Go ahead, Eddie.
All right. So there's not much to talk about today. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens with this flight, how they're gonna fake it, and then we'll come back to talk about it. So I want to send a big hug to everybody on the chat: Gene, Brett, Rob, Kevin, Vika. Until next time, it was very nice being here with you guys.
Ready to pair.
Thanks, Eddie. You too, brother.
Thank you very much,
brother.
love.
Yeah, Eddie, thank you for bringing it up, and yeah, we're gonna be totally on it. And yes, Mr. Casey, we are waiting what you do with this your video. and please present us with all what we are asking. Okay,
There
including the
you go.
permit.
Please show your flight route. Please show your time, distance, and heading. Show us where you're departing
Receipts.
from and landing from, so we can verify. If you want to talk about peer review, well, we got plenty of people over here who can understand flight routes. Time equals distance over speed. We can do that. Show us how you did it. When you show us and we can verify, then we can talk. Then you might enter the community. Until then, you're nothing. You're just a fly on the wall screaming globe. And we know how to destroy the globe. Any single factor that we've mentioned during this last 2 hours, any single factor disproves the globe, because the globe is a mathematical, geometric, geospatial, geophysical, and in all other respects, a scientific absurdity, and it is therefore a deliberate fallacy. It doesn't take too much to disprove the globe. And then when we do that, the glass of water, a bottle of water, a glass of water on a kitchen counter, on anybody's kitchen counter, it's motionless. It's perfectly still and motionless. Water doesn't move. It doesn't curve. The earth is 70% water. It doesn't curve. It cannot curve. There it is. No motion, no curve. There goes the heliocentrism. The earth is a motionless circular plane, as the Bible describes. The Bible proves Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the truth. All power and glory to Jesus Christ, the Son of God. That's all for me.
Amen.
Thank you.
Beautiful, Rob.
Thank you,
Amen.
Rob,
Thank
for
you.
passing by. It's always great to
Yes.
have you, brother.
Thanks for all of your webcasting work, Vika. You put a lot of work into it. Thank you, Flat Earth Guru.
Sorry for showing up late, but I'll just state that the mapped Earth that we know is 71% water lies level. I do look forward to seeing how they're going to lie and pretty much make all of the airlines that have routes look like idiots in some way, taking a 33-hour flight and making it into a 13-hour flight. I'd love to see this.
Right.
They'll be doing that tomorrow. This will never happen. I sadly think April 8th and April 20th will come and go, and it will be an excuse, just like booking a trip to go from the bottom of South America to the actual island or the land of Antarctica. There are stories of people who have actually no shit tried to book these trips to prove a point that it's not going to happen, and of course it doesn't happen. And all of the comments from these wonderful trips these people take all have 4-letter names like Barb and Anna, and it's fake, it's faux, it's not going to happen. The 8th and the 20th are going to come, and it's just going to be another stall tactic, just ruffle feathers. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I will talk to you, Vika, or whoever. Like I said, you can find me, Flat Earth Freeman, on Facebook. I tend to stay away from the other drives. But, I'm around. Just been busy. But I'll find you, Vika, and find out what the next topic is to talk about.
There you go.
Sure, Brett. Thanks for passing by, bro. It's always a pleasure to have you too. Yeah, we're gonna update on all this. Yes, thanks for passing by, brother. Who's next? Who's going next? Kevin, Jeannie, whoever.
I'll go. I'd like to say thanks to the audience. We love you guys. I hope you're having fun out there. I know we are. Vika, you're the man for having me. I love being here. This is great. It's so much fun tearing this apart. And Kevin, Brett, Rob, I love you guys. Always good to have you here. And Eddie is a special guest. That video is awesome. I can't wait till this is all done and we come back and shred this video they got. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope everyone in the audience go look at Flatten the Curve. Go to Vika's channel on YouTube or Real Truth Seekers and check out Flatten the Curve if you haven't. Share it because this is shredding the globe, guys. It's coming down.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeannie,
Thanks,
for
Gene.
passing by, brother.
Thank you.
It's always great pleasure to have you too. Yeah, and as I said earlier, yes, Flatten the Curve is got some hope back, and it's good to see that. So thank you guys, everyone, for passing by. Everyone in the chat, and for sure check it out next week. And hey, Kevin. No,
Yes.
Kevin. Last thoughts, brother.
Just rest in peace, the globe. Give Jesus Christ the glory, the way, the truth, and the life.
Voila. The way, the truth, and the life. Flat Earth is just one component of the larger truth that is the creation of the Creator, Jesus Christ. Voila.
Voila, amen.
Thank you, Kevin, for passing by, brother. It's always also great to have you. And
Thank you
yes,
so much,
Eddie,
guys.
we are gonna be on lookout of this on every information, and we are here to just rip this apart. You know, we are already doing, and we are waiting for everything they want to throw at us. So thank you for bringing it and all your work, Eddie, too. And thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Brett, and thank you everyone in the chat for joining us. For sure, we're gonna join next week with amazing content, more amazing content. So this is bye, guys. This is Vikat Razi signing out from Heliopsychosis podcast. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
There was a documentary just put out yesterday, a good one, by the way, people should check out, called Flatten the Curve, by a bunch of pilots and military people. You know, that's our term. That's our flat Earth term.